Happy to have you aboard here for the Really Big Barbecue Show.
Boing.
We cook because we have to, and we grill because we want to.
Hit me.
Fine, how's it going?
You have a great show. I'm a big fan.
Boing.
So what seems to be the problem here? This man looks like he's dead and he's in the crackle. Charbono! It's all about the charbono, dude!
Succulent fish. What?
He ate 2 feet for wieners.
Now listen, Lavernius, shut your face.
I'm shaking like a dog shit peach seeds.
We have top men working on it right now. Top men.
And just like that, we are into the second hour. It is the Barbecue Central Show, where we talk about all things important in the world of barbecue and grilling. The show originating from
Palm City, USA, Cleveland.
Still to come on the show tonight, Mac Weaver from Memphis in May. No. I'll get to that here in just a second. So still to come on the show tonight, me, everybody. I say good evening to those of you watching tonight through one of our video streaming platforms. Facebook.com/BBQ Central Show, Twitter.com/BBQ Central Show, or YouTube.com/@BBQ Central Show. We have a new YouTube poll question of the week that we're asking everybody, including all guests when they appear. Would you correct somebody if you heard them say a word incorrectly? And it is clawing quickly back to 50-50, but currently 58% of you are saying no, you would not correct somebody if you heard them say a word incorrectly. If you're just tuning in here to the second hour and you missed the first hour, you would be heartened to know that your humble host would indeed correct somebody if they heard them say the wrong word, because I want everybody to be just a little bit smarter at the end of the day than they started out in the beginning of the day. And if I can help them do that, then it is my duty as a U.S. American to do that. And by the way, if you are somebody that would be offended that if I stepped in a very polite and educational way and taught you something new, if you are offended by that, then that just proves how stupid you are.
Get that big stuff out of here.
Coming up on the best moments of the Barbecue Central Show in 10 minutes or less this coming Friday, episode 370, taking you back to January 13th of 2010. Derek Riches. You remember Derek Riches? Derek Riches, the first guy to come on the show as an expert and then quit the show after he got in a tiff with who had the bigger barbecue website with Meathead, and then years later came back on the show for a number of years, and then I believe it was 2 years ago, once again quitting the show again. He was going in a different direction this time. There was no website tiff or anything like that, but he did say that there were other things that were occupying his time, and he didn't feel like he was going to be able to bring the heat like I wanted, and he self-banned again. Second time, the only person who's been a regular guest on the show that has not stepped away once, but has stepped away twice from the show, which I certainly appreciate. This show, by the way, January 13th, 2010, fun fact for those of you that love Barbecue Central Show trivia, and I learned this from John Solberg's Talk Out. This was the first show that actually had guest video coming into the show as a separate feed. So while I did have a singular camera on me for some period of time before January 13th, 2010, I found software to be able to bring in a guest via video. The audio was not that great back then. It wasn't terrible, but it wasn't that great. Not till I decided that I was going to throw the mandate down, as I did a couple years ago, to really elevate the sound. By the way, Mac Weaver was making himself available through vMix and computer audio, and I immediately shut it down. I said, no, it's required with the microphone, and that's how we're going to do it. We're going to have to reschedule, so we'll work on that. But in January 13th of 2010, this is the first time you would see a video guest on the show through the video streaming software. Otherwise, it was just me, and you could see me, and that was it, and you were hearing guest audio, which is kind of creepy when you come to think about it. Within the minutes of the show, had a little technical difficulty up front, which John leaves in there. We end up talking about pellet cookers, and specifically we talked about what was then the newly released Grilla pellet grill cooker, and that one was very unique. I got my hands on it in advance of it actually going to market. Mark Graham, the original creator out there, it was Fahrenheit Technologies, somewhere out of Michigan, that was creating it. They were into the home heating space or industrial heating space, and then morphed into making a pellet grill. Great, fascinating story. Now, American Outdoor Brands bought them a couple of years ago as we were coming out of the pandemic. So they're still in business. They're still growing. They're aligned with a much bigger parent company at this point, doing very well. But I got my hands on this pellet cooker. This was the first pellet cooker I ever had, because in 2009 and 2008, I was shit-talking pellet grills. I was shit-talking people who used pellet grills. And then on the DL, I got one. Why? Because I'm a hypocrite, of course. But Mark reached out to me and he said, I don't want you talking about it on the show. I just want you to use it. I want you to tell me what you'd like, what you change, what you don't like, blah, 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 blah. How it fares through the winter and the spring and the summer. Want to know how the powder coat is. And all the while that I'm using it, I'm falling in love. And now I'm put in a position where, am I going to keep my hypocrisy a secret, or am I going to bare my soul? And in the end, of course, because it makes for high drama and great show content, I bare my soul to the folks and say, I can lie no more. I'm a charlatan. I love pellet cookers. So that's what you have to look forward to this coming Friday, a conversation with then Derek Riches, who again has quit the show twice, or stepped away from the show twice. Not quit, that's wrong. I should not say that. Very nice of Derek, very professional of Derek both times in doing that. You can subscribe to the show by visiting thebbqcentralshow.com/subscribe. And of course, if you would like to put in a request from our guy, John Solberg, you can do that by sending him an email, John, Jon, at thebbqcentralshow.com. Real Meat Stick in the instant chat saying, I made the move from a Weber Smoky Mountain. By the way, Real Meat Stick, I had a pair of Weber Smoky Mountains to start out with. Well, one, and then I got two. He went from Weber Smoky Mountain to pellet cooker to offset and direct heat cookers. By the way, I think that is a trend in 2025. Getting back to the either direct heat cookers or offsets. You have a Chud Box Real Meat Stick. I am hard looking at a Chud Box or the direct flame or direct heat cooker that Pits and Spits makes, which is just a looker, a dime piece, if you will. And then there's this.
Get that big stuff out of here.
2 weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago now, I mentioned that 3 of you were supposed to get hot sauce, Dave's Blazing Hot Sauce, but it froze in my car and all 3 jars exploded. That was Darwin, Johnny Maggs, and Guy the Cooking Sim. Well, last Wednesday, I got an email from Dave Benson, the creator of Dave's Fantastic Hot Sauce, and he asked for all 3 of your addresses, and he said, hey, Remps, I got you. I'm going to ship these guys out the hot sauce. Don't worry about sending out the cigars or making this up for yourself. These are things that happen. So to Johnny Maggs and to Darwin and to Guy Chisholm, I believe is his real last name. Maybe I'm saying that wrong. Be on the lookout for replacement hot sauce coming to you directly from Dave's Blazing Hot Sauce. Because Dave Benson is a prolific human being. You're going to get the real thing from Dave himself. Dave, thank you for fixing my error. And again, just shows the great human that you are. And to the 3 of you who are getting this hot sauce, prepare to be dazzled because great flavor. Again, not hugely hot. My palate says it's a 0.5 to a 1 out of 10, so not very hot, like melting your face off type of thing if that's what you like, but great overall flavor and a really good vinegar flavor that I like, so be on the lookout if you haven't gotten them. By the way, if you're getting this on podcast, Guy, you were in the instant chat a moment ago. Did you get the replacement hot sauce from Dave Benson? And Johnny, did you get the hot sauce from Dave Benson? And Darwin, did you get it? Please let me know. I would like to know. I would like to be in the know. By the way, the poll eating back again. Closer and closer to 50-50 we go. I knew there were a bunch of you a-holes out there like me. I mean educators. Before we get into the open portion of the show, let me stop just for a second here. Is this... Oh, Darwin saying he received his like a week ago. All right, well, thanks for letting me know. Is in a situation like this where a guest is now out who I had banked for one and maybe a portion of the second segment, is this where I run a Zoom call as well and I say, okay, we're open now, jump into the Zoom room? Like, can we do that? Would that work? You don't have to have a microphone or anything. Let me see if I can do that. Stand by. Let me work my magic here. What a great shot of Mr. J as he's going to log out. He's pulling back on that stick right there. You can see that perfectly lit ember of that Garofalo Maduro. Perfect. All right, now. I don't know if any of you have Zoom. All right, we'll host a meeting. Click here to create a new meeting. All right? We're going to start it now. Schedule a meeting. BBQ Central Show Zoom. 211. Want to go 10 o'clock? All right. Save. Here's the invite link. Now, I'm going to send this out through the YouTube chat. If you want to call in to the show... Oh, wait. Cancel that. Now, go back. I hit refresh. Now, here it is. Okay. I have all that right. We hit connect. And now the Zoom call is happening. We go into the call manager. Okay, we have 0 participants. So I'm going to leave that up. I have no idea where this goes from here. Actually, put it over here. So, if you want to jump in and ask me a question or you have a hot take about barbecue and grilling, then please use the, what do you call that? Zoom link. And we'll get into it that way. I think I have the audio thing set up right. So, stick with me. Let me do this read for Green Mountain Grills real quick, and then we'll come back. We have one person on the line already. Jeff and Drizzy, who is a brother of Leaf with me and Mr. J, of course. Gang, for 17 years, Green Mountain Grill has brought the smoke to the competition scene and backyards all over the world. Their Venturi-style firebox delivers the cleanest 150-degree smoke in the pellet game, bar none. Their newly redesigned 2025 Prime 2.0 grills blend the proven technology of the past with technology of the future. Green Mountain Grill is the original innovator in all things Wi-Fi and continues to give the user granular options to control your grill in any environment from anywhere. Green Mountain Grills also leads the pack in accessory creation, from their pizza attachment that delivers pizza in 2 minutes to rotisseries to add-on side burners. Check out the new 2.0 Green Mountain Grill. at greenmountaingrills.com. That's greenmountaingrills.com. Be happy, be ready to check out greenmountaingrills.com and that newly revamped Prime 2.0. It's delightful. All right, we are back right after this with potentially a caller, but we'll see. Stick around, we'll be right back.
You're listening to the BBQ Central Show. Howard Stern, Jim Rome, Dan Patrick, and Greg Rempe. The Mountain Rushmore of talk show entertainment. Now, let's get back to the BBQ Central Show.
And we welcome you back. And this portion of the show being brought to you by McAuliffe Cigars. Step into the world of McAuliffe Cigars, where each blend is a chapter and a grand tale of craftsmanship and passion. The portfolio, a symphony of flavors, each note carefully composed to create an unforgettable Nicaraguan smoking experience. The Color Series, of course, doing really well, but now I'm a huge fan of the Leanda. Find a retailer near you, won't you? McAuliffeCigars.com, and then go visit. It's a fun thing to do and a tasty way to do it. We race to the hotline. Not yet, we're not. I got to figure out how I'm going to put you up, Jeff. So stand by as I... Oh, wait. Maybe I can do it like that? Why not? We race to the hotline and welcome in our pal Jeff Andreezy right there. Jeff?
Hey, how you doing, Greg?
It worked! Oh, I'm a master. All right. So you're on your phone, obviously, because you're...
I am.
Can you landscape the phone and see if that does anything different? Oh, look at you. I'm getting better by the second, Jeff. Now, are you smoking weed?
I'm smoking an HVC Series A. I do have my little stick because it was getting to the end.
I mean, you go right to the nub there, partner.
Yeah, I try to on some of these good ones.
Yeah, and it's not getting bitter as you get to the end. You're not finding that, at some point in the final third that the cigar turns.
No, that's really a speed deal. If I'm puffing too hard, I'll get that. But taking it slow, it's just a little easier to hold sometimes.
Are you on the lookout for the HVC hotcake fresh out the oven broadleaf that's coming soon?
I still have a box from the first release last year. Looking forward to the 2 new sizes. So definitely. I'm on the waiting list.
You got a hot take? You got a hot take tonight, Jeff?
Hot take? No, I'm sorry.
Oh.
You're
just helping me out?
I just heard you missed somebody tonight, and Deb and I are out in the smoke shack lighting up and listening to the show.
How cold is it out there today?
It was 23 below this morning.
Wow.
In the shack, we got the heater running. It's nice and comfy in here.
How am I sounding through Zoom? This is a new integration tonight. I don't know if I'm actually going to use it or not, but maybe in an instance like this where a guest falls out, if we could get some guest participation if they want, there's an option now.
Yeah, you're sounding just fine. It's coming through my phone. Maybe not quite the high quality from your normal mic, but I can hear you just fine.
All right. Well, Jeff, I appreciate you calling in tonight and helping me through this, and enjoy the rest of that HVC.
I'm going to. Thanks, Greg.
Look at this guy. There's Jeff right there. Now, I don't think I can. I can't disconnect Jeff. Oh, can I? Can I disconnect Jeff? No, I don't think I can disconnect Jeff. But Jeff will have to disconnect himself off of Zoom if he wants to disconnect. Oh, he just did disconnect himself. So if anybody else wants to jump in, you can go ahead. I'll see you on the little doohickey over here. and you're more than welcome to jump in with a hot take or a review of something, whatever it is. We'll leave the Mac Weaver line of questioning off for another day. By the way, I think that's the first time I've talked, and if I'm wrong, I apologize, but I think that's the first time that I've actually talked with Jeff, like live and in person. He sent me hundreds of dollars of cigars, which I certainly appreciate. We trade cigars back and forth. He's given me way more cigars than I have given him, but he's got a lot more cigars than me. He is a avid collector and an avid smoker of cigars, so I wish I had a shack like he did, but I don't, and I don't know if I would be risking coming out and the 25-degree weather and hoping that the cigar shack is toasty. But he did look very comfortable. His teeth were not chattering, which I certainly appreciate. I want to give a recognition to the show because 4 days ago on February 7th, 2008, we celebrated a show anniversary, of course. We are now into our 18th year of live shows.
Hey, everybody.
What?
Can I trouble you for a
yeah. We are now in the 18th year of live shows, which means we've completed 17 years of live shows. Who would have thought we could have got to year 1 or year 7 or year 10, but we are much closer to getting into year 20 than I ever thought we would be. In fact, if you count the first 2 years of how the show existed, that being in podcast segments starting back in 2006, we are starting our 20th year of shows altogether, but this is the 18th year or starting into the 18th year of live shows. So I want to thank everybody that's ever listened to the show even once. I want to thank anybody that's even downloaded the show even once, and obviously to the folks that are tuning in live every Tuesday night. If you've done it once or you're a regular tuner-inner on live, I really appreciate the fact that there are many different... Look, nobody realizes more than me that there are a billion other content consumable options that are currently out there right now, and it's getting more and more by the day. So the fact that I am somehow able to woo you to come back each and every week and listen to me is humbling, and I don't take it for granted. I appreciate it immensely, and I will continue to try and provide great shows for you week in and week out. So that's number one. And then we'll leave it on this. I got an email a couple weeks ago. Let me move the call sheet over here just in case. Maybe I use Zoom for phone calls ongoing and I just leave them. Man, we'll have to see. I got an email a couple weeks ago from a guy named Willie. No names, please. Rhymes with Willie. No names, please. And he asked me. Now, this is him soliciting me. This is not me doing outreach and trying to book guests, but this is somebody contacting the show, basically introducing himself and saying that season 4 of Andrew Zimmern's Wild Game Kitchen is going to be happening, and he made a pitch. Obviously didn't know he had been on the show before last year. Would you like to book him as a guest? And I said, hey, name rhymes with Willie. Andrew's been on the show before. According to him, he had a really good time. He even said this.
That's one of the most intelligent questions anybody has ever asked me.
When he was on the show about my question asking of him. And I said, we can make a Tuesday happen. Just let me know. I'll send him gear out, blah, blah, blah. And we had some back and forth. He said, when do you record? And will it be through Zoom? And that's when I reiterated that he had been on the show before and, all this other fun stuff. I'm trying to find where we left off here. Okay. So he said, I said, let me know what you want to do. I'll send you a link to book a segment, and we can go from there. Be happy to have Andrew back on the show. Thought it was pretty entertaining. And he got back to me and said, hey, hope you're well. Below are a couple of options that work for Andrew for a 20-ish minute live virtual interview. Both time options assume and allow for a quick sound check shortly before the live segment begins, which I appreciate. And it was like Tuesday, whatever the time, and then another Tuesday, different date, and whatever the time was. All well and good. Seems like we're going well. I don't necessarily like the fact that he's giving me options. When I said I'll send a link out and you can pick what's available, because let's just never assume that all shows are open. Most shows are booked. Like, work off that assumption. But okay, I'll let that slide. This is the part that I need your help with. And it starts out, regarding any equipment that needs to be sent, and with apologies for any awkwardness here. Now, maybe I just should have stopped reading at that point.
Get that big stuff out of here.
Much like if you're going to start a sentence with, I'm not a racist, but, no offense, but, like, anything after the but is going to be offensive. Anything after the but is going to be racist. I'm not telling you what to do, but now you're going to tell me what to do. See, I mean, like, you just start off with that. So, and with apologies for any awkwardness here means, here's the awkwardness. I mean, just come out and say it without the qualification. And with apologies for any awkwardness here, can you please ensure that it is a clean and new microphone equipment set? Although I was not the one to coordinate Andrew's participation last time, I understand that when the equipment was received, it was well used and not in the best shape. Since it will need to be returned, Andrew's team has asked that you please provide a return shipping label. Or in the alternative, if the gear is not essential and Andrew can participate without that, that's also another way we can go. Thanks for letting me know on the above. My immediate thought is,
great, I don't give a fuck.
I'm not going to do any of that. I'm going to delete this message, and I'm never going to think about it again. And by not thinking about it again means seethe with anger about it on the level of disrespect and apologies and awkwardness that you have made me feel this day. Or do I buy a new microphone and headset and send it to him? And then after my purchase of said equipment, I also have to include a shipping label. It's to me, like, it's, well, I mean, what is it? It's $70 to get it, to get the equipment that he needs, maybe $100 with headphones, and it's brand new. By the way, I know exactly the set that he got, and it was used one other time. It was not well used. It was mostly new and could easily go on Facebook Marketplace for a little bit off retail, $50. It wasn't dirty. The people that I have as guests on my show are not dirty or sickly or slovenly or gross. So please, don't tell me it was dirty or well used or whatever you're saying. But do I spend the $100 to get him it and then include an extra? It would probably be $15 or $20 depending on how he's going to ship it back on a shipping label. I mean, $120 for a 20-minute interview. I don't know if that's ROI. In fact, I'm thinking that's not good enough ROI for me. I didn't see a considerable bump in followers or downloads or, whatever. When he did it before, it was a great interview. He said this.
That's one of the most intelligent questions anybody has ever asked me.
Jeff and Drizzy asking, does Andrew not have his own microphone? I don't know. I guess not. Otherwise, whoever this PR person might have said, hey, Andrew has a slew of AV equipment. We can work out a sound check to figure out which one sounds best, and then that's the one he'll use for the interview. But I feel awkward even going back and asking that, because that's also going to mean I'm also going to say, by the way, not buying new equipment, not paying for the shipping back. I mean, give me a break, Jack. I appreciate the time, but I'm not sending you crap equipment. I don't even feel like I probably have to pay to get it shipped back to me. I would do that. I've done it a couple times. Most people realize I'm sending them free stuff. They're happy to send it back or send it along to the next person. So I'm asking you this, yes or no, do I suck it up, eat the expense to have Andrew Zimmern back on the show, or do I tell the PR guy to fuck off? I'll wait to hear from you. That's going to close our meeting tonight here through Zoom and also bring a close to the show here. And I thank you for tuning in. It went longer than I thought. So I'll wait to hear from you, and then I will levy a decision next Tuesday. Or maybe that'll be the YouTube poll question of the week. Should I buy Andrew Zimmern's gear and pay to ship it back? Hey, all the way back in the first hour, we had Mr. J from the Cigar Authority podcast and manager over at Two Guys Smoke Shop, the number 2guyscigars.com. And then after Mr. J, it was Robert Moss, robertfmoss.com. is his website. We also had a call-in and a successful test of Zoom. I wonder if like 10 people hit up that Zoom line, if how they all get put in. Does it automatically jockey who's talking up? I don't know. Might have to figure that out next week. Might have to try that as a test over the course of the weekend. We'll see. Anyway, big show planned for you next week. It is the third Tuesday of the month. So we have quarterly guests coming up. We have monthly guests coming up. It's a fully stocked show. You're going to have a great time. I guarantee that. So how do I always leave? September 11th, 2001. I will never forget. And until next Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern, this is your program host and proud U.S. American, Greg Rempe, saying, Come on! Come on!
This is Doug Scheiding of Rogue Cookers, Texas Embedded Correspondent. You're listening to the BBQ Central Show.